The difficulty of describing trees, for Robert Haas. For the reason not unlike your border between you from your projections, the proper mode of address you have used to address architects we call last or late. Don't read what is left to invade. If not a sunset, a wolf, having wind that be. The beggar, forget how the search ended for who is held. Responsible has seen an outcry. In the woods, it would. Blood bank. Where else would you expect the collection to be connected to? The way the holder struggles with the want to hold back explaining. One can only run back to the other so many times before saying, I see blind sums instead of an empty account, where your memory is the same as what is happening behind locked doors, that isn't about what they would say had they known you were the one counting this, deciding what to consider enough. Blood bank. Why would I have chosen to be angry with them when others' wages were at stake? A bloodline, a wolf sound, the where as a lower limit, cough indistinguishable from cry, crying there is sick, there waiting, the methods promising the clear, and just one more crime to prepare there, this particular time you aren't there. Sorry was in the woods. When changing woods means changing woodsman, there isn't a woodsman to say stop saying that is a symbol for that thing. Another who may stop, another reason why you feel anxious when you mean timber, or their refusal to name the specific place, when to stop, when to insist it is time to say, you are a question in the collapse, so leave the woods so the woods becomes there, where it's too much a raised voice raising confusion between threats and pointing to the alleged plan I decided to make, the choices I do, a disorder that prevents a productive fall, despite another woodsman leaving. At the time, it is time to acknowledge a problem is capable of being a victory that is a loss, like the exact fire you imagined I said, whisper danger, said I admit fault and I cannot say it again, in another woods of preferences where someone will of course choose to separate the panic disorder from the panic. When the wind is an explorer with closed eyes, you focus on worrying the witness will be so scared he'll cry out, not scary, not for those who prefer the woods, never be able to approximate the fall the woodsman can. Come on, thirsty. Blind is not the particular, to say how the weight of the weight looks, like he was planning an exit yesterday, told you to stand in the doorframe for scale. Act as if you are not nervous. I have this on tape. Do not ask me to feel like I am not in a bad place there. I arrived on time and holding a woods. The trees were boats here. Familiar with extended paranoia, properly mapping fears. A key to explain a bank run in terms of end or progress. Narrative he reasons in the woods' favor. Whisper in another voice, what if he is not willing to pay attention? And this is a victory, no questions, going down the river. Just 3 more poems. I have let in the door and done nothing since then. Copying the agreement over onto the meeting table still, covered in their crumbs, carrying on. It is still the wolf crying, is his fruit tree growing where I have imagined no. Think of the bodger asking the sight at dawn, like a juror who cannot finish his job to think about the fruit falling, like the door maker at his doorstep thinking how the neighbor looks to be playing dead. Say the rooms here are too large to stand in for coffins, the thundering, fear of the soil turning. Think of it spoiling the door's plan, the sad parades, parents who are waiting to hold fruits where there is a conclusion, that is, the walls go up before the foundation, a letter attaches at his feet. It is silenced here, The building is a bark, is chasing. Forget the worrier walking into the bodger's position where a machine is being made to make enough room. After the timber, the harm was caused already. There also was made up of neighbor who is othering habits. They have no scars to trace, even looking in a mirror, no scars or scratch. I turn to you now, the you, a house where we are holders that see but are not there. There, the tree does not know us, and we are looking for her old house we pictured like a black hawk. We don't know how to call differently than the wind. We cannot live on that narrator thinking cause is caused, and no other way to consider forest being said and saying look and looking at the forest now. What do you see now? Isn't it different now? Do not think timber. Do not think timber, think I, only when thinking I am a faller among fallers. Here it is neighboring to keep the wolves from the door. Where we see war, no war increases their need for wood. Thinking fire, then the misplaced records we need for the facts to place the blame where it belongs. They will tell you the reason. When they say that gesture is called waving, I say no, no. She is reaching out to create the correct comparison. Toward time, we look like a bird, looking to the window, seeing only the window, say only the window is a threshold whose practice is bodies you insist will equal the statement about. Most people make the mistake and call the work a craft. You know a craft when you are on it, on the way to. A term without common usage, the woods used to move the idea the woods had this time confused with selection cut. It is still important to prepare the surface of the woods before finishing. Do not turn on me in front of them. Thank you.
Thank you, Michelle. Oh, I just wanted to say that this is the first time I'm using this apparatus and I forgot to turn it on. So, people of the future listening to this on the internet, you missed 2 poems, and it's my fault. Sorry, Michelle.